Welcome to Franchise Addicts, the podcast that's all about franchise movies. My name's Luke,
And I'm Chris.
and we're back after
We're
a
live.
hiatus of a
Yep.
couple weeks.
A lot of people reaching out just beside themselves, being like, "Where are you guys? I don't know what to do. My whole life's been turned upside down." I love all the praise. I know we do. I mean, I don't want to make this about us, but I know that all the
Ooh.
emails about how we get you through hard times. There's very personal emails. I appreciate all that. And so we're back. We're back and we're better than ever. And we're talking Bone Temple and I'm on my phone. I'm doing this from my phone. So you're welcome. That up there, those are cotton balls. A long time ago, my son wanted me to make like a cloud thing with like there's lights up there. Anyways, just in case you're wondering, we're in the
Yep.
Cotton Temple talking about the Bone Temple.
Talking about the Bone Temple. Yeah, so we do this often, or not often, but we've done it a couple times now where we've covered a franchise and then a new addition to that franchise has come out. So we covered the 28 franchise in like the spring of 2025, maybe
Yeah,
early summer.
early summer because it led up to 28 years, which was a
Yep.
late June release, if memory serves me.
And 6 months later, they had the follow up because it was written at the same time. We have Alex Garland coming back on the writing, Nia DaCosta replacing Danny Boyle for this particular film. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Ray Fiennes returns, Alfie Allen. Or is that, am I right about that? Alfie Allen sounds like the guys from Game of Thrones.
I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Do we say Ray Fiennes or Ray Fiennes? Ray Fiennes?
Ray Fiennes. Yeah,
Okay.
That's how I've always said it.
Okay. Little guy, little Spike. He's there.
Back.
Jack O'Connell, the menacing European himself.
Jimmy Crystal, who we see at the
Jimmy
end
Crystal.
of 28 years later with his group of jumpsuit wearing.
I thought it was the band Korn at first with those jumpsuits. I was like, oh my gosh, are we about to talk, are they gonna sing Adidas? Or
I love
Scream
his
It,
like
let's be honest.
4 chains he's got.
Yeah, no, the 4 chains are great. Is there a cross in there? I don't think so. No, there's no upside. There is?
There is. Yeah, he's got an upside down crucifix necklace.
Very rock and roll. And Jimmy is in fact very he's very rock and roll. He's
He's super rock and roll.
The Dark Prince. What's it? I forgot his full title for himself. The Grand Master, something. The Torturer Master,
He's
in purple.
the son of Satan.
He is the son of Satan. Son of Satan.
Son of Satan, son of old Nick. So yeah, this movie picks up right about where 28 years later stops, which is that weird 10-minute addition to the end of it that kind of leads into this movie. So Spike has been taken by this group, and the first scene we get is Spike having to fight one of the other kids that are, working with this Jimmy guy. And he takes him out and joins the crew, and then the movie just explodes from there. We get more of Ray Fiennes as our Dr. Kelson out in the Bone Temple. We get Samson back. We get a loving friendship that just grows and blossoms between these two men.
Yeah, and it's not weird at all.
No. I mean, one is gigantic and completely nude, and the other is covered in iodine and very dirty.
And he keeps and one keeps the other one drugged up on morphine to a point where he can't really do anything or totally understand what's going on.
The good doctor is also partaking.
The good doctor is, with some great music. I gotta say, Dr. Ian, where you get that vinyl collection? Yeah.
Chris, we were wrong about the band. So both of us, when the music first came out, I thought Talking Heads. Incorrect. Chris said
Depeche Mode.
Incorrect. All of them are Duran Duran.
See, okay. Duran Duran and Depeche Mode, I get them confused.
Yeah. And I get Talking Heads confused with everybody. Because if it's like 80s new wave, I'm like, that sounds like Talking Heads to me.
Hey, but a truly great soundtrack from the Duran Duran to some other really nice 80s kind of new wave, all the way to the needle drop of Everything in Its Right Place by Radiohead, one of my absolute favorite bands. One of
Yeah, Dr.
their
Kellison
best
just
songs.
stopped listening to music in like what, 96,
Same
97?
here. No, I'm Kid A came out in the year 2000.
Okay, yeah,
So,
yeah. All right. So right before the turn.
yeah, and he and I kind of share the same musical, dialogue. That's when I stopped. Maybe I went to the aughts,
Were you
2010,
like
20.
were you like in the 80s, you're like, there is no band better than Duran Duran, and then all of a sudden Radiohead came out and you're like, ah shit.
Well,
There's
I
another
mean,
good band.
in the 80s, I was just a child. I was but a 6-year-old when the 80s ended. I mean, when I was little, I loved Billy Joel. We Didn't Start the Fire. Oof, man, so many stuff that he names. Anyways, so good. But no, I didn't get into that stuff till later. I was a grunge kid. I mean, we all know this, or that's the established history of me, my canonic history: grunge kid, indie rock kid, Radiohead, of course, in that mix.
Well, and then, I am birthed 7 to 9 years later.
Seven to
And
nine, we're not sure.
I know I bridged the gap. I didn't want to say 6 to 7. Um, uh, and I grew up on punk pop because that was very
Yeah, that
popular in
2000
about
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
2000 to 2005,
yeah.
which is when I was like 10 or 11 and, getting into music.
Like My
Then I
Chemical
ended up going
Romance.
back to grunge. I went back to grunge, but I never went back to new wave. Like I don't really listen to the Talking Heads. I don't listen to Duran Duran unless someone else is playing it. Like though, I just completely missed that sort of stuff. And any of the 70s, 80s bands that I listened to were what my parents listened to. Although my mom is
True.
a really big Talking Heads fan, she just never really played music in the house that much.
Karen, I love that. Man, 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 man.
Yeah, you talk to my mom sometime about Talking Heads. She'll go on and on. Yeah, she loves it.
Talking heads. Talking heads. That's a Scott Ackerman podcast.
Yes.
Great stuff. Great stuff. So, um, let's get into it. I mean, first of all, right off the bat, I got to say that the tone is set in that first battle between the Jimmies, where Spike has to either kill someone or be killed. Hits the carotid artery in the leg. We get a lot of blood. We're like, oh, that's kind of obviously the tone is set that this is going to be much more bloody, and that's just the tip of it. I mean, this movie goes hostile level gore at times, which I mean, I just I didn't know what to expect with this film, quite honestly. I was like, okay, sequel, but not really. Emotional sequel, whatever you want to call it. Um, but this is really gnarly.
Is this a like top five devil worshipping movie?
Well, I
Like a
mean, so
movie where the central bad guys are satanic?
like Long Legs.
Like long legs.
Yeah, we could never forget Long
And
Legs.
Dungeons and Dragons, the TV movie with Tom Hanks.
There's so many Satan movies, man. I mean, I feel like this is one I saw recently. It's good. No, I guess we won't bury the lead. It was definitely enjoyable. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot, and it's in my opinion better than Long Legs. Marketing nowhere near as good as Long Legs marketing. That Long Legs marketing, oh my God. And the beginning of Long Legs, spectacular. Once you really see Long Legs, movie goes down.
Yeah. But Bone Temple has it has a great ability, and this is something that I knock other horror movies, or at least movies within this type of genre for. It keeps the momentum all the way through this movie.
Yeah,
Um, and I think, I was a little concerned with Nia DaCosta taking over. Not that I don't think she's talented or anything. She just hasn't done much before this. That would lead you to believe that she could, match Danny Boyle, who's considered one of the better directors of the last 20 years, uh, with the style. But I think having Alex Garland on the writing really helps to center
totally.
it. He's fantastic at telling a compelling story that on the surface just works really well. And then if you want to go down just one more layer, there's still a bunch of stuff in there too. Like all the satanic stuff, all the stuff that Jimmy and Rafe, Dr. Kelston, are talking about
Love that scene.
not even being able to remember the world 28 years ago. And
Amazing dialogue. That I mean, I just was that. Yeah, there's some really great dialogue, great writing.
yeah, and they do a good job of putting that particular scene, because you're kind of going into this movie. I think I said it to Chris immediately when we realized it was going to happen. I'm like, yes, I want Rafe and Jack O'Connell to just have a conversation.
They got to
And
face off.
boom, it was great.
Do they ever face off as the movie goes on? And that's the thing too. It doesn't it lands it sticks the ending, which I think a lot of that's a huge problem in all movies today. And this one really sticks the landing. It's got a really a great ending, and we can get into that. But um tonally, yeah, it can be funny at times. It can be
it's
so brutal.
hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's brutal. Like, and I will say, I mean, people are skinned alive, and they
Yes.
show it. Like, be forewarned, that happens. I mean, that's pretty. That's pretty intense. But then, yeah, it's also, it's just this movie has everything, um as a man once said. But it really does. I mean, is it like, my favorite movie of the year? Well, probably not, although hey, it's February. But it's great. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed it, and it does a lot of things successfully.
I don't think it has quite the stylistic, like, I don't know. I don't know what to call it, but like it just looks different than what Danny Boyle is trying to do. And Danny Boyle's films in 28 Days and then Years, like the camera is like a character.
Yeah.
Like it's always bopping around, he's moving, he's all over the place with it, doing a bunch of handhelds and stuff. This is more cinematic. This is, hey, we've got characters in front of you. We're trying to show the scope of this. We're going to try and hit images, from a little bit more backed off, so that you can see everything that's going on.
I have a hot take.
Yeah, what's that?
This was more entertaining than 28 Years Later.
It's definitely more entertaining. I
Yeah,
will
not.
say that.
I mean,
There's
as
there's
far
more
as
going on. It's
yeah,
funnier. There's not as much like
long,
walking in.
drawn out time. I mean, and it's emotional, and I get it. Like, we've got some great performances. 28 Years Later is not a bad film at all. But this, I mean, it's a different film, 100%. Like, I don't think we would be like, oh my gosh, the Bone Temple really reminded me of some childhood, trauma, or like, it was beautiful, a meditation on death and loss. Like, no, not
Yeah,
at all.
Memento Mori.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, that was more, poetic and deep, but also, yeah, it had stretches where I was like, all right, like, whatever, I'm bored, you know.
Yeah.
It's that ADHD brain, but still, this one was from, yeah, as you said, it's an hour 50 minutes, so it's not necessarily short, but it feels there's no skips, you know.
Yeah, and it does a good job of sectioning off. You get basically four different sections in the movie. So you kind of have your establishing, where you're establishing Kelson and Samson and their relationship and what they're going to do there. You've got Spike with the Jimmies and how he's kind of working in there. And then you get what the Jimmies are doing and how like debaucherous and horrible these people are.
Give them charity.
Yeah. And then we get the flaying there, and then we get the kind of the mythology that the Jack O'Connell character, he's essentially a cult leader.
Yeah.
He's the kid that was in the church at the beginning of 28 Years Later.
So we saw him, yeah.
Yeah, as a child.
Okay, because
And
I mean, I know that they showed that scene, so obviously, why? Yeah, and they show the father, so yeah, he's there in the beginning, little boy.
and he kind of retells the story in this movie too, where he's like, the rest of my family stayed in the house next to the church because his dad is a parishioner, and he went over to the church to find his dad. And when he goes into the church, he sees his dad with a bunch of the infected, and it looks like he's leading them in an assault. And
Hence, his dad is Old Nick.
Yep. So he then is just a traumatized kid who grows up thinking that his dad was the devil and that the infected are the devil's retribution upon the world, and that he, as the son of Satan, needs to continue that with the people that were not infected. And so he grabs them up and flays them and rips their organs out and kills them.
Yeah, and he gives them charity, is what they call it. Really, and he hears the voice in his head. We can get to that as far as when he says he may stop hearing the voice and what we think that might mean.
Yeah,
But
it's definitely left up in the air whether or not he actually believes the bullshit or if he's just a bullshit artist.
very, yeah, absolutely. And because I mean, we can skip around. This isn't going to
Yeah,
be
I
a
mean,
note for note, but
not
when
to
he,
mention
so
we're a month late to covering this, so sorry if you
yeah,
haven't seen it. But there are like 500 podcasts about this movie already, so we're gonna go
yeah.
ahead and spoil whatever the hell we want.
Spoiler alert ahead for the Bone Temple. When they're having, and I do think, as you mentioned, one of the best scenes is when Senior Jimmy and Dr. Ian have that talk, and it's revealed that well, I'll just call him Senior Jimmy. Sure, Jack O'Connell doesn't really give a shit that he's not the devil.
Oh,
But I do think that he does. I think that he believes it because I mean the whole like I don't know. I think that there's got to be some belief, um, because you
this
know
is this is 28 years of him kind of like formulating this thesis and becoming this character of Jimmy Crystal. Because like you do
yeah.
have to remember the length of
Poor
time
Jimmy
like
Crystal.
is significant. Like Rafe brings it up. He's like, man, you were a kid. Like you probably hardly remember anything just because obviously. And then Jack gets to ask him like, hey, like, well, you're obviously older. What was it, kind of like? What have you forgotten?
Beautiful exchange, or yeah, I don't know, beautiful, but really great exchange there when he talks about like I don't really remember. I remember a sense of certainty. I remember a sense of that there was
Like the
things in
world
place.
just worked. Like there was
Yeah,
there was like a momentum to it. Like it just kind of all fit in, and then this event happened and it has shattered the world.
yeah.
Or at least
Uh,
shattered the world that he lives in, because we know that obviously the rest of the world's fine. Just this particular part of the world is insane.
okay, so I mean, what do we what do we think about that? Because I know that it's brought up in the previous films that like it is isolated to an area. Does 28 years talk about that at all? I feel like it does not, but maybe I'm wrong. Like as
28,
far as like it didn't spread or it did or whatever, right?
the previous movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talk about it because that soldier that the boat gets crash landed onto the main island,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh shit, I'm here now. I can't go back because they won't let anybody back into the rest of the world if you are here."
That makes sense now. Yeah. Okay. So it is, in fact, it's only, yeah, interesting element to it. But we don't care too much about that, I guess. But yeah, really, really good conversation there. And I mean, I guess at the end we know that ultimately the thing that Jimmy Crystal, I will call him Jimmy Crystal, not Jimmy Senior, is that he wants to keep his power. He wants to keep his power, and that's ultimately the most important thing.
So
And
there's
yes, he probably believes some of this shit as well.
I did a little bit of just looking into the other themes that, like I said, that next layer down that Garland is putting stuff in there, but you don't need to know it for the story to be good. But Jimmy Savile, a infamous character from the Great Britain area,
Yeah, there's
uh,
a Netflix documentary on him, right? He was like a serial killer or something.
uh, serial child molester.
Oh wow,
So it is interesting and that the character's name is Jimmy, and that
Jimmy.
he likes to have children around him. Uh,
True, true. Yeah. I mean, I guess that I didn't even really think about that. You're just kind of like, oh, maybe he just ran into kids a bunch, but
well, they're the
there are,
easiest to manipulate.
yeah. But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so we get that those interactions. So really good stuff. You get kind of the the high points of what it's like to be within a cult, especially a murder cult, where
Yeah, it's
essentially
rough.
all of your jobs are like, hey, go kill that person. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to, and the leader's like, you have to.
Or else I'll kill you. And that's
Yeah.
how it works. And it's not just like, shoot them with your one eye closed. It's some pretty graphic shit.
Yes.
Um,
A lot of
and
knives.
a lot of knives and yeah, just it really goes to a pretty extreme place. Especially, yeah, I'd say the first half gets pretty intense there when they find that group of kids and which ultimately doesn't result in anything, which is interesting. I mean, I guess it's a plot point, but they capture that group, and the pregnant girl puts the hook through through the other girl's head. This is great narration. Also, yes, they look like members of D Antwoord, the great South American rap duo that is canceled now. But look them up. I think you're freaky is a great video. Um, and they all have blonde mullets, or at least one of them does. Anywho, so yeah, but that scene is, I mean, it's horrible, but it's also memorable. Like
Yeah,
it's
and it does set up the group having to go meet old Nick,
yeah.
because the fallout from that is that the pregnant girl swings the hook, kills the girl that's basically finishing off the last guy that's alive after the torturing, and he's able to get away as a result of that, burn down the barn that they're doing this horrible stuff in, and then Spike is sent to go after her and lets her go because he's a good boy, and he comes back and Jimmy is not happy about that, and the girl character who is one of the Jimmys, I can't remember. Do you remember what her name is?
Well, it's Jimmy, of course.
Well, I know it's Jimmy. Oh,
What does she say at the end? I don't know. Kate?
yeah,
No, it's not. But he
something
reveals
like
her
that. But
name
the
at the
the
very
the,
end.
the good the good girl Jimmy, who's helping out Spike, says, "Hey, why don't we just go ask Nick in person? I've seen this guy that appears to be the devil out in a bone temple. That's got to be Satan." And
Gotta be.
Jimmy Crystal is very intrigued by this.
Yeah. Also, okay. So let's talk about that motivation of that the of female Jimmy number one. Um, she clearly, okay. So she wants to save Spike, and she's got a heart. But she also they call her Jimmy Inc. Weird. She also kills someone viciously early on. She's very good at murder and seems very emotionless regarding murder, but has a soft spot for Spike. And so like, do we feel, I mean, again, whatever, but is that realistic? Or like, do we feel that that hook would exist? Because she seems to really believe in all this satanic bullshit.
It does appear to be that way.
She has a neck tattoo.
Yeah.
That's commitment, man.
Obviously, you have to just be like, well, Spike needs to have some kind of friend to help him out within this group, so they just pick somebody. I hope they
Yeah.
do more work. Obviously, it seems like they're going to do another movie based on the end of this. I think that is all ready to go. Danny Boyle, I
Really?
think, is going to come back to direct it, so I think it might not be for a couple of years, but
Wow.
it is probably going to happen, and I hope they get into more of her character. Maybe we get to see more why she has a
She's
soft spot for Spike, because
Kelly
it's not
is her
really
name.
explained. It's not really explained here.
True. And her name is Kelly. Her real name's like in the film is Kelly. The actress is Erin Kellyman, uh, who does a great job. She's remarkable. I mean, her acting is she does a great job.
But I mean, I think this all culminates in probably the best scene of the movie, which is after Dr. Kelson and Jimmy Crystal have a conversation,
Yes.
and Jimmy's like, "Hey, here's the deal. My minions think that you're Satan, and I need them to think that you're Satan, or else my grift isn't going to keep working.
Yeah.
So you can either act like Satan when I bring them down to meet you, or I'm going to kill you
Or
by
I'll feed you
ripping."
intestines. I'll feed you your intestines until you can no longer breathe or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Very graphic. Yeah. So Dr. Ian is like, all right, cool. I've got 24 hours to get this show on the road. I have an idea.
And
And boy,
boy,
does he
does
fucking ever.
he likes to put on a show.
This guy has production value that I mean would make anyone in any of the places in Vegas. I mean, can we get him at the Sphere? Because this guy knows how to put on a show. He puts on what, this Iron Maiden song, and
Number of the
then
Beast, 666.
remember, and he's got this kind of this Marilyn Manson vibe going
Oh yeah,
on.
he's got a
Bald
sweet
Marilyn,
trench coat.
a little Nosferatu, I thought.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
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 for
yeah.
sure.
And then I mean, you think that's it. You think, okay, he's gonna do that. He's got some dancing, and then he brings out, and then he makes the Ring of Fire. He's got the fire. I mean, holy shit, this guy
He's
is
blowing
just,
drugs into their faces so that they
yeah.
just
I
start
forgot about
moshing
that.
like crazy.
Yeah, he blows the drugs. Oh my god. I mean, this guy has thought of it all. Like, I
Well,
mean,
and then
this
he
guy
puts
has
on his
created a satanic Burning Man festival in his little bone temple in a matter of minutes. It's impressive.
fire retardant suit, which is like creepy looking the way it is with the big hood, and he's got the long jacket and everything. And then he's got his like bench press thing with the
Yeah.
coals on either side, and he's like swinging around with it. And the fingers of Jimmy are just losing their mind. It's like the greatest rock concert they've ever been to in their life.
They're loving it.
And Jack O'Connell is just losing his mind. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's
"This
like,
is the greatest."
yeah. I mean, you got to think what's going through his head. He's like, okay, I thought he was going to maybe do a voice. Maybe he throws on a little extra iodine, but this, oh my God, this guy, he's better than Satan. Holy shit. Wow, I expected a softball and you gave me a grand fucking slam. Um, wow. So it's a great scene. And it's fun. Again, like
I think
this film.
it's the best scene of any of the movies. Of any of the 28 movies, I think it's the best scene.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I mean, it's great. And I'm not an Iron Maiden fan, but
I
when
mean,
in Rome.
it's incredibly on the nose, but on the nose in all the right ways. You're just
Yeah.
like, of course, just play that song. Like, great, we're good.
Although I mean, given his other taste in music, I'm like, Iron Maiden? I mean,
Well,
because
he clearly, well, I mean, it's talked about in the movie, but he's like, obviously he's a doctor, so he gets labeled as an atheist immediately by Jimmy, and he's like, I guess. So he has like no stakes in heaven or hell or anything like that. So he is basically just like, well, I have an Iron Maiden album.
I don't know.
I
I'm just saying, I
guess.
don't know if his taste profile would have that man in real life have an Iron Maiden record, but I don't know. It just seemed like he was a little more into the artsy stuff. Maybe I would think like some Sabbath, but this works. This works. This does the job. It does the job incredibly, and then we get the very end with the
Before we
crucifixion.
get to the very end, though, I wanted to talk
Yeah.
about one more thing with Dr. Kellison, because we haven't talked about him and Samson and
Oh
their
yeah, their
what's going on with this.
bromance.
Yeah, is we saw in the previous movie that one of the things that Dr. Kellison does is he shoots these darts with morphine, and it basically renders Samson like a statue.
Yeah.
Still breathing and everything, but makes him docile. He's able to come close to him and stuff like that. Doesn't have to worry about getting attacked or anything.
So
But
morphine offsets the virus, or So now we know.
yeah, and Kellison's like theorizing and stuff like that. He's like, oh, they must be in incredible amount of pain. That's why they're like running around screaming all the time. So the morphine's helping out with that. And he's like, now that he's calm and more sedated and stuff like that, he must still kind of have like some psychological issues going on. So he's like, if I can grab these psych pills and stuff like that and do all these calculations, he's reading textbooks and stuff like that. And he comes up with this kind of cocktail and gives it to Samson. And then we get to the end of the movie. As Chris said, there's a upside down crucifixion that is very much just like, we know this is going to happen.
It's gnarly.
Jack O'Connell is nailed to the cross, and he is cursing Satan, essentially.
System
Not
of a
really
Down
cursing.
style. Father.
Yeah.
Why have you forsaken me? Right, we did
And
it. Luke and I were singing System of a Down last
oh
night
yeah,
during that
dude.
part. It was great. We had a moment. Hell yeah! It was. We started a mosh pit. It was. It got. I broke a couple tables, but
I blew
yeah,
baby powder into Chris's face.
yeah. I'm still very much not able to see out of one eye, but it was great. It's just, like, this movie is grand spectacle. This movie is grand spectacle, and so of course, what one of the one of the grandest spectacles of all. Let's do an upside down crucifixion, and then he says he can't
But
hear.
not only that, but the cross is attached to that huge bone spire. So like he's on an upside down cross at the base of this just bone monument. It's like basically if you took the Washington Monument in DC and turned it into bones and then put an upside down cross at the bottom and nailed someone to it.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Hell yeah. It's pretty badass, dude.
But that's not even as badass as it gets. So as he's doing the like, why have you forsaken me, Father? Samson comes out of the darkness and he's got the horns. He looks like Satan. Yes. And Jack O'Connell sees him that way. And we have Samson essentially coming back in the visage of Satan, according to Jimmy Crystal. But he comes back and he is like helping Rafe Fiennes and he's talking to him. And Rafe is like, oh, it worked.
I fixed you.
It worked. Now this is previously 20 minutes or 15 minutes before we see Samson here. He is woken up from essentially coming back from the infection fog and killed every single infected thing around him. So he is
a lot of murder happens in that little train. But yeah, and then we see that, I guess Dr. Ian was right. The infected do hallucinate and view everyone around them as like demons, and it doesn't seem like a great setup. I wouldn't want to be infected.
Yeah, they essentially like see them as themselves. I think there's a shot where Samson, his face is like superimposed on the face of the person that he's ripping the head off of, or at least it's like they look like infected to the.
They don't look good. Yeah, they look very scary.
So yeah, I thought that was kind of a silly thing because obviously Rafe is going to then theorize about it later, and we as the audience are like, oh yeah, that is what happened because we saw it when the camera did that thing.
Very smart, Doctor.
But I just think that the whole Dr. Kellison, Samson, and then the relationship with Jimmy Crystal, like for having three characters that are not in any of the previous movies, be able to, I suppose Dr. Kellison is in the previous movie, but to be able to carry that much of the story, and Spike is essentially in the background, like he's essentially the main character of the last film, and he's hardly used here other than just to be a part of the plot as it moves forward.
Yeah, I think it's very well done. Ray Fiennes, he's an amazing actor.
It's unbelievable.
So you got that, and you got Jack O'Connell, also just a good actor. So they're playing off each other, and you're getting kind of a little bit of a senior and junior masterclass there. And then Samson does what he's supposed to do, right? He's our Arnold. He's our Terminator.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just, he just says it, moon, and that's it. But it's interesting that Jimmy hallucinates that he has horns and looks like Satan, while in fact he is not horned. Do we think that matters? Do we think that's does he have schizophrenia? I don't know.
Yeah,
the voices go away once he's nailed to the cross. He says the voices go away.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know that it really matters, but it's unclear.
Yeah, it's left open-ended whether or not he actually believes in what he's spouting, and whether or not,
I think he has to believe in it.
Well, the infected, he's hallucinating, obviously seeing. Now, I don't know if that's like trauma hallucination because he's literally nailed to a cross,
Mhm.
or if that's occurring like throughout his life. He's seeing these visages of like Satan coming out of the darkness and stuff like that, and he claims to have a voice going constantly in his head. So
Yeah, I
he
would
there has to be something going on.
probably. I mean, if I had to guess, I would say schizophrenia.
Yeah, it doesn't seem just like a pure grift.
Yeah, he's clearly fucking troubled, and could use a dentist, but those don't exist.
Well, I mean, everyone in England could use a dentist. I mean, come on,
That's
Chris.
right, baby. Um, let's shag.
Um, let's talk about the ending. Let's talk about kind of
Who
how
comes
this comes
back?
full circle to the first movie, because Killian Murphy is back.
He's back.
He
Oppenheimer.
Spike and you say Kelly
Yep.
get away from Jimmy. Obviously, after he's crucified, they are out on their own in the wide world, and we cut to a nice little hilltop cottage with a daughter and her father, I would assume, Killian Murphy, and he's teaching her about history. And they're talking about post World
Oh,
War One and how the peace agreements and what they did to Germany, essentially, bankrupting them, keeping them from having a standing army, all that sort of stuff, led to how horrible World War II ended up being. And
do you
so
think?
she's
Why do you
asking,
think they're? Do you think that's brought up for any reason?
yeah, I think it's just talking about how Dr. Kelson has a philosophy with the infected in that, yes, they're evil, yes, they're a destructive force, but when he encounters them, he tries to still treat them with humanity and like
Okay.
course correct them as opposed to
So what?
punishing. Whereas Jimmy Crystal just wants to punish everything.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. Yeah, that tracks. So yeah, they're learning that she's studying for her homeschool test, and then they hear a rumbling outside, and it's our it's Spike and Kelly running from random other infected because they're out there in these
Yes.
streets, and
We
those
get the music
noble.
back. The
Yes, we
28
do.
days music comes back.
It's a last needle drop, and they go out to help them.
Yeah. And
Noble motherfuckers. Yeah,
that's where
I
the
love it.
movie ends.
All
And
right, let's.
I
Yeah,
I can't wait for the next one. Hopefully they make it. And I think this franchise is elite. I think much like the Evil Dead franchise, which we said is just like somehow just gotten better and better as they keep making movies, even
yeah,
with new creators and stuff like that. It just seems like if you put a movie in that world and follow the rules, like you're gonna have a good thing. Seems like with the 28 movies, maybe a different director, maybe it is Garland, maybe we just give Garland all the credit, but like it seems like if you put characters in this world and tell a story, it works.
yeah. I give a lot of credit to Garland, but yeah. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah. um we basically given our best scene, kind of the last one, unless you have another one you wanted to shout out, or not the last
Oh.
scene but the big 666 musical
Well,
number.
yeah. I mean, I mean, we shouted out the conversation between Dr.
Yeah,
Ian and Billy and
I think
Jimmy
those are the
Crystal.
two like lasting things that I'll remember about this movie.
Yeah, yeah. Those are great. I mean, there's a lot of other there's some real devious stuff. The little girl that I guess I don't know how little she is, but when she does the fairy dance, and then she also is like a vicious killer. Um,
Oh, the funniest line of the movie is Jack O'Connell explaining Teletubbies.
they got
That
they
that
got
they have,
titties on the
you're
tummy.
watching them on the TV and they have TVs on their tummy, and they watch themselves on the TVs on
On the
their
tum.
tummy.
Yeah.
Over and over ad infinitum.
He summed it up perfectly. So yeah, those are our best scenes.
Were
Who's your
you a
MVP?
Teletubby dad? Were you?
No,
No.
my kids
Too old?
were older. Or no, I just wasn't. I think maybe that was before I had kids. I don't remember. But no Teletubbies in this household.
All right, there
No
you go.
televisions on Tums. Yeah.
Performance.
I'll give it to Ray Fiennes.
All right, I'll give it to Jack O'Connell. my boy.
Two great performances. What's your rating?
We'll give MVP to Garland just because I think he's the backbone of this franchise. My rating, oh man, I forgot what I gave yours, because I do agree with you. I think this is right there with yours. If not just from an entertainment standpoint, an ability to rewatch. I'll probably watch this one more than I'll rewatch 28 Years. Maybe I'll skip the Flame part. I'm gonna go like 8.5.
Love it. I'll go 7.9.
Yeah.
It's good. Watch it. Check it out. It's available to buy for a lot of money online. Hopefully it'll be streaming somewhere cheaper soon. But Bone Temple, and then speaking of temples, we got the Thunderdome. That's kind of a temple.
Yeah, that's kind of a temple.
Kind of a temple. We'll be coming with that one this week. So stay tuned. Welcome to Thunderdome. Mad Max 3, back on track. Thank you, Luke.
Thanks, Chris.